I had this sudden realization this weekend that oftentimes I'll come on to my channel and I'll put videos out about resilience and do hard things and building that psychological capital. But this last 2 weeks, I have absolutely needed to use every single bit of resilience that I could possibly stored up. And I think it's worth sharing it. I lost my mum in a tragic car accident 20 years ago, almost to the day over the weekend. And the ultimate irony there was that she was a diabetic nurse. She looked after a diabetes patient, and actually she was killed by a diabetic having a hypoglycemic attack at the wheel. The same week that that happened, my son got really dangerously tackled at rugby practice and had these horrible thoughts of him not being able to make it up off the ground. I was also the first responder to a pretty gnarly motorbike accident that happened right in front of my eyes on the way back from seeing a client. And all of those things, they take their toll. They start to deplete you. One of them's from 20 years ago. One of them's a really chronic situation involving a family member and their safety. And the other is one that is just one of those, what do I do now type situations. So all of those, they compounded and they drained me. And this week I've just felt absolutely exhausted. But I think it's worth sharing that, because the one thing that I felt like I needed to do was to set up my base camp. I knew that this was going to be a week that was going to be hard, or a 2 week period that was going to be really hard. So I make sure that I get to bed, I get my 8 hours sleep, I have my non-contact time that I need. Sometimes I just need to take myself away, whether it's to just cook in the kitchen or to blow off steam by doing some jobs around the house, etc. But just having some time in my own head, but knowing how to balance that with then socializing and reconnecting with others. I think that's really important. But the other thing, and I think it's almost been like my magic trick, is mental reframing. So saying to myself, good. And it's really hard when you're sort of in that situation. You're talking about how my mum died. How do I give that the label? Good. But she made so many sacrifices for us. She moved down from the Welsh Valley to Cardiff to give us a better life when we were kids. And I need to be grateful for the time that I actually had with such an amazing mother. With my son, with the rugby incident, good. I learned that maybe I'm not as calm under pressure as I could be, and I need to work on certain elements of the way that I behave and react to things. So I think it's really important. Set up your base camp, get your 8 hours sleep, make sure you exercise, you get outside, you do something. Don't let the wheels fall off. Make sure that your nutrition is balanced. That base camp is so important. If you let the wheels fall off and you don't sleep and you don't eat properly, you don't exercise, it takes a long time to come back from some of that stuff. But also that mental reframing. I think mental reframing is one of the most powerful tools that we've got. We can't linger in this sort of victim mentality or that feeling of woe is me. There are times when we've got to say, hey, you know what, this has happened. I can be down about it for a while. I can feel my feelings, but then you've got to give it a deadline and you've got to move on and you've got to keep going. So there we go. That's me trying to show a bit of my sort of journey with resilience and how it's not just a straightforward linear, be resilient, do hard things type thing. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, or what your hard thing or what your lesson has been over this last couple of weeks.